They're guys. They do magic. They are the Magic Guys.
Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 192 of the Magic Guys. This is awesome. To my left, we've got Doug Kahn.
Buenas noches, senors.
Oh yeah, hola. Down below in Aussie land, we got Nick K.
Hola, mi amigos.
Yes, all right, Espanol. We're doing a Mexican. Oh, I'm messing up my accents. Anyway, work on that. Great to see everyone. I just got backstage 2 minutes before we went live, so you know it's going to be a great episode. And just briefly, we want to say thank you to all our friends that were waiting for us in the chat. Scotty P, happy Tuesday from the future, which is great because it is Tuesday for us and Monday for Doug in the US. It's going to rain tomorrow, Doug, just so you know. We got Tim Askin saying hi to Scott, which is very meta. We love that. We got Seth. Thomas Conger in the house and all the great fam and more to come because we do this live. So make sure you jump in so you can answer your questions live in the chat. But hey, gentlemen, what is up? Let's start with you, Nick. How has your week been, my friend?
In truth, bad. I got a virus on like Thursday and I've just been wiped out since. I've been totally bedridden.
Damn, that's a thing. Like, magicians get sick, but they still got to work. We still got to make a living. So what happened? Did you have to cancel gigs? Did you have to suck it up? What happened?
I handballed every single gig, and I just spent the time sweating out of fever. It started with the chills. Chills got ordinary. Got rid of that pretty quickly, and then the fever's just come in, and it's sort of just lingering now. But I live a pretty healthy lifestyle. And I drink like hydrogen water, and I have these like toxic removal things that I put on my feet and stuff like that. So I got rid of the most of it, relatively quickly. It's just the energy levels. Like I'm struggling. Like even right now, like I'm pounding a pre-workout drink just to make sure I got the energy to make it through this episode because
pre-workout. That's what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
You guys are not role models. I've tried that stuff. It's not recommended.
Yeah.
Don't listen to these boys. They're hardcore Australians.
I look forward to the day that maybe like we can do an episode where we give Doug like in person when we travel to the US. We give Doug a pre-workout, and then I'll take you through a workout.
I'll try anything once. Let's go.
Hell yeah!
But it is like, what time is it here? 7. I'm drinking coffee, so let's go. I'm on.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I'm not really drinking a lot of coffee since, but the only thing about this stuff that you drink is it stains your tongue like blue tongue lizard type thing, which is a common creature here in Australia. You guys wouldn't appreciate that, but
that's what she said.
Boom.
Because Nick's got the virus. Anyway. But look, on a serious note, Doug, how are you, my friend? We were talking backstage, and you mentioned you had some news about one of your dear friends. And
yeah, man, I almost didn't do this podcast today, and all week I've had challenging mental health. Talk about not feeling well. Let me give just before I talk about this, man, give the listeners a reference. As I'm going to just share for a moment. I'm sharing, if you're listening, the library.com screen for John Racherbaumer. This man was my magic father. We're looking at 241 titles listed. There's the first one I ever read, At the Table. I was working at La Rocks in Charlotte, North Carolina. This was early in my magic career. I used to borrow books from La Rocks and read them. I read this book back in the early 80s. This would be my destiny later as I got to befriend this man as an early adult. When I was 18, I came to New Orleans. And I got to meet John Racherbaumer. Got to become a good friend with this man. And we went to magic sessions, the Nights of Sleights, every Monday night. He must have done this meeting for over 25, maybe close to 30 years. He was my ride there and home. We'd leave at 7 o'clock and we'd come home at 3, 4 in the morning, sometimes see daylight, going over to, Denny's having breakfast. And so, I guess you could know where that's going. Most people do. And I'm on his Facebook page now, and we lost John last Tuesday. And it's just been a tough week for anyone that got to know this man. Here's some locals. Steve Reynolds, who was as close to John as anyone could be. Hudson's there. Joe Harrison. We used to go to Joe's house after the meetings. I hope you'll excuse me as I ramble about this man just for a minute here. I want to get to what his wife wrote when he passed. I'll read that and we'll get on having some fun. I want to say this. I'm here tonight because, like, John was here for me every Monday night when I was a young man. You know, maybe people tonight, maybe there'll be someone needs to hear something that I have to say. And I hope that, you know, me, instead of just sitting around moping about John again, being here in the spirit that he was there for so many other. We'll talk about him. We'll give an episode for John, right? And we can talk about him more.
100%.
We will 100% do that. I've been doing my diligence on him a lot, and a lot of my mentors, just like yourself, Doug, they knew John at a personal level, and he's one of those brilliant minds that's been published, like you said, over 200 publications that are there, as well as all the stuff in the Genie magazines and so forth.
He wrote magic articles for like 50 years. He wrote his own magazines, the Hierophant, the Kabbalah, Olram File, Sticks and Stones, Modus Operandi. He wrote for Magic Magazine, Genie Magazine. My very first, I showed this on YouTube the other day, but this is the foreshadowing of my book, The Linking Ring Parade. He published in 1997. The illustrations in this Linking Ring Parade are in my book, and I'm quite sure without John's interest in my material when I was 25, that the tricks in my trade book. And hey, there's John, card fixes. I got this book from John in the 90s. There's the Hierophant. That book doesn't exist without John.
Yeah.
But there's going to be 100 stories like mine because everyone he touched was like, felt like he was like I feel so close to him.
Yeah. And the thing, and to your point, buddy, like he's so much more than just the publications. He's so much more than just the guy that existed between the pages of all these publications. There's so much more than that. And so I, on the side, have been reaching out to a few friends who know him or might have known him, and I've been asking for their stories because that's the important stuff. I don't think anyone would have known that he picked up Doug Kahn on a regular basis, on a weekly basis, to hang out and do magic. And that's the reason why we have Doug Kahn in his amazing form today. So,
and he'd send me home with the book that I needed to read that week. You know, he would bring a title, and
you are not going to find those stories. You're not going to find those stories in the pages of his works. And that's the sort of stuff I want to gather. So we're going to do our diligence. And we're going to do that, and we're going to gather as much information and wonderful stories about John, and we're going to pay our respects to him in the most loving, respectful way as possible. But Doug, thank you so much for sharing your amazing story with Doug.
In the words of Racherbaumer, onward.
Yeah. I love, just quickly as well, like seeing that he did so much with his love for magic. Like, you know, it seems like he was doing magic up right until the end. Like being a magician is such a wonderful way to live, in that you can do it forever, you know, and then you can leave this body of work that lives on and helps people that never met him and will still continue. Like it's a beautiful thing. And we will talk about it more once we gather a bit more info, for sure. But we just wanted to acknowledge that. And
thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that those words. Now, I think from here, we did have a speak pipe come in. Lovely way to continue our episode. I think I want to keep doing this, opening our episodes with the voice of our listeners. So do keep sending them in. It can be a question, a funny story, just a thought. It can be what you're up to. It can be anything. And today's one comes from Seth, and we're going to see what Seth is up to. Make sure this is not on mute. And I believe it's Seth Howard. I'm just winging it because I'm used to seeing his name in the chat here. Once it loads.
That's what happens when you're 2 minutes pre-show.
I know. I had it here ready to play, but I'm just waiting for it to load now. So I'm just going to improv for a hot second. Seth says nailed it. Okay, so Seth is in the chat, and it was, in fact, Seth Howard. So that's good to know. You know what? I'm just going to reopen it while Nick does a dance, which is going to be awesome on Audio Land. Wow.
Yeah, I don't really know
he just totally pop, lock, and dropped it. Okay, here we go. I think we got it now.
It was more of a Madonna Vogue situation.
Hey, boys. Hope you all are well. I have a question for you today. You've mentioned Kill Tony multiple times on the show, and I was wondering if you ended up being a bucket pool during the interview when you were inevitably asked to show a magic trick, what trick would you do? And also, I see that the theme of today's episode is Halloween magic, and one of my favorite tricks to do this time of year is Joe Diamond's presentation of the Haunted Key. Cheers.
Cheers,
Very
thanks,
nice.
Steph. And I love that your blinker was on, which indicates you had pulled over to send this speak pipe. So
Thank you
for that, my friend.
Do magic
what-
and speak pipes responsibly. Thank you, Seth.
Absolutely. Now, just for reference, Kill Tony is one of the world's most popular watched comedy podcasts, and they record it with a live studio audience. You can watch the show. Anyway, people sign up to get on the show and do a minute of comedy, and then they interview you, and if you have a special skill or talent, they want to see it. So what Seth is referring to is if you got on the show and the moment they hear you're a magician, they're going to say, show us a trick, what would you do? So that's what he's referring to. And and the thing is as well, it would have to be something that if you're using a prop, you'd have to be able to conceal it on you, because backstage, they actually get you to empty your pockets and they take everything off you just so they don't have weirdos like pulling a knife or something. And I've heard people go on the show mention it like, oh, well, I was going to show you this thing that I have, but they took it off me backstage. Like they lock up your phones in this comedy club so that, because they say all sorts of profound stuff and they don't want it taken out of context where people film it. So it would have to be like, a thumb tip you could get away with. They wouldn't see that. It could be something slim. It could be, something that goes around your wrist. But I don't know, for example, that you could get away with taking a deck of cards out.
Don't shoot me down, Norbito.
Well, let's say you could, though. But yeah, okay. So,
well, let's say you couldn't. Could you do one card?
You could do one card.
You could put one card in your wallet.
Okay, question.
Yeah.
Let's explore this then. So the Kill Tony cards they have printed, are the court cards members of the cast?
Yes, they are.
Great. So
I have them as well.
Great. So if we were going to create a trick right now, which I think is what the question sort of pertains to, is what would you do? Now, what I would like to do is I like to put like a little blood packet in between, like in the theme of Halloween, and split the card, put a little blood packet in between it, right? Maybe of the host. Do maybe some sort of ambitious type routine where it keeps coming to the top, perhaps, and then kind of end it where I would have loved to have ended it with a stab. The card stab of sorts, or maybe with a fork or something of that nature, like something along the lines of let me think, like Threek by Bizarro, something like that would be kind of cool, where you stab it and then you can show it, but it would be cool to have blood coming through the card. That's what I would be doing. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I think
that's all very doable.
Work. And you also have to remember that Tony Hinchcliffe, the host, he's there ready to roast you in a funny way. If you fuck up or take too long or whatever, it's got to be like. So I would almost, because I think that's great, and that would make great content as well. I would almost go on the sucker approach, like where you give him the moment to heckle you, and then you show that he was wrong. Because the audience loves that when you prove the host wrong for something. Oh. Almost as if...
Are you thinking Magician in Trouble plot? Is that what you're thinking?
That's what I'm kind of thinking. Like where like you... maybe you have one card and you get him to name anyone and you subtly let him see it, like you flash it before you actually change it to what's going to be the real card. So he can be like... I got
that now. I've crafted it now.
Hell yeah. All right, Doug.
Trick. It's a deck of cards and you address Tony.
I'll be Tony, okay?
This could be in my wallet if you're henchman. It stopped me. I was ready, Tony.
Okay. All right.
52 possibilities.
This guy, he just keeps interrupting me. All right, you're a magician. All right, show us a trick.
I'm a semi-pro. I'm not going to let you talk much. I got the wrong...
You're going to make my... Mate, you're going to make all the women's moisture disappear. This is the stuff he'll say. That's the stuff
I brought a blue one just so you know I don't cheat. Name any one you want. 52 choices.
Oh, all right. We're going to go...
Damn it, I wrote on myself for your entertainment pleasure. I hope you're happy. I'm doing it Kill Tony style. What are you going with, Tony?
Yeah, we're gonna go the two of hearts, just like my last two wives.
Bam! He's got a. Yeah, it's right there, it's right next to the 3.
Oh, I don't believe it, you son of a bitch.
Now they would react to that. What did you say though?
Two of hearts.
2 of hearts. We'll use
But don't
that
feel-
one. And do you feel like that was a free choice? Like you could have said any card in the deck? Now these cards might have names on them. They don't now, but eventually you get to the 2 of hearts. Well, fuck, I put tape on the one that said Tony. Now this is all a mess, but
No, we can rewind.
the party names end up with his name on the back of it. I put the wrong card on the face of the deck. So here we are. I learned this trick from Racherbaumer. It's Ed Marlowe's female. I know it's a mess. Oh, this is all horrible.
No, this is.
Look how horrible this is, though. This has tape on it. So any named card goes on the face of the deck. Or it could be wax, ideally. And there's a joker underneath it. So when you remove this card, it looks the same. So now the way Ed Marlowe did it, all of these were male names, and this was the only female name. And it appears as though the freely named card has, when he did it on, I'll tell you who did this when I saw it. Paul Gertner did it on Johnny Carson with Johnny Carson's name. And he said, you could have had Pam or Karen, but you picked the 4 diamonds, and here's Johnny. And it had his name on it.
Clever.
So the idea would be this. You go from an impossible situation with good tension, you play off the host, you get the gag and bang, and then quickly transition to the impossible finish where the named card is revealed, maybe with a little less frickin' Sharpie marker. Holy crap, I'm a mess.
I couldn't tell if it said Tony or phony. I couldn't tell it.
That's cool. I have another version of that I like to tinker with. So if I would have, is Tony able to get up away from the table? Because if he is, you can have him stand right next to you.
He doesn't like to. He doesn't like to. No, he's like, he just wants to see the thing. And so, for example, a balloon swallow could go down. Like if you can take the stuff out there, like they'll make so many jokes about you swallowing a large,
Because I would have done
balloon.
I would have done a folded card pinned to his back. That would
right. Yeah, that won't. You should watch the show and you'll see what I mean.
Yeah,
but the thing is, they'll roast you, but they will also give you so much praise when you do well. So you know what I would do, Doug, is probably what would be better is for their audience what do you think? Instead of showing the 52 cards on the deck, it should just be a giant penis like on the back. It should be like, Tony, name any card. 7 hearts. No, giant cock.
I'm trying to not go right
for
the penis, Norbido. Holy crap.
No, but, that's his audience. And then you would say, but look, on the back of the 2 hearts is Tony. That's probably that's what I'm thinking, Or they smoke on stage there. Or you could just do a vanishing cigarette.
Oh, that would be a good one, actually. You do cigarette and shirt.
Yeah, cigarette in shirt. Now we're talking. Or you could do a quick change of your shirt. I just got Jackie Yu's shirt change, which I'm excited to use. And you could have the shirt say like Tony is gay or something. So you could change it. Boom. These are the things that come to mind. You got to play to his audience, Oh, that's good. Doug's got a.
This is an original giant. I normally do at the thumb tip. So.
I remember you opened it. We opened an episode.
Right? You give him this. Hey, Tony, what's up? How you doing?
There we go. And then you would get a big applause. Absolutely. Hell yeah. See? That's funny. Or if you know what Tony's favorite drink is, for example, because he does mention it a lot, you could you could blow up a balloon and then, do like a splash bottle to his favorite drink. That would be an easy play. Yeah, you got to know your audience, I guess.
There's Mike with the Racherbaumer reference. He put it in his European lecture notes. I remember these notes. He called it "Thy Name Is Woman." That's right.
Ooh,
it's a Marlowe trick, though. It's female. Female. Marlowe put it in. It's in the St. Louis lecture notes. The magic of Ed Marlowe.
Damn. All right.
Marlowe, Brock was prone to do that. He'd borrow an item and drop it in his notes. Sometimes like that.
Yeah, wow. So, segueing off.
Jeez, I think my ear's bleeding. Crap.
Oh, no. So thank you for that question, Seth. And it makes me think, because really what you're trying to do is tailor your magic to the audience you're going to be at if you're going on someone else's show. And earlier, a week ago, I went on the Today Show. They came and hosted their weather from our Theatre of Magic. And I know I keep talking about the Theatre of Magic every week, but it's because we love it. I love it. And I, for the first time, I was thinking like, what magic am I going to do on this show? And of course, one thing was going to be a Rubik's Cube, but I'm like, everyone's seen an instant solve of a Rubik's Cube, like if you're into magic. And I've done this a billion times. And then it occurred to me, we had Paul Fowler and Kev G on an episode, and I learned how to do Cubeify, and I was like, you know what? I never use this because it just didn't fit to reveal celebrities and stuff. But
what is Cubeify?
Cubeify, well, it's instead of solving a cube, Doug, it's being able to, well, I'll show you. Instead of solving a cube, you can mix a cube to spell words. So I went on the morning show and, the Today Show, and I wonder if, I think I've been able to spell it here. So I was able to mix it up and then reveal this, today, and then show. And then I was like, but we're not just on the Today Show. We're here with a host, not just any host. We're here with the famous presenter. His name was Tim Davies. So I showed this, Mr. Tim
look at
Davies.
That.
And then now
For
I've
those
just
at home, the
customized it.
cube is spelling the words
Yeah.
as he spins it.
And then after you've done that, you can say, but this is a cube after all. So we do have to go back to solving it.
Wow.
And that's all she wrote.
Baby.
So when you buy Cubeify, it comes flat packed and you get a big sheet of these stickers that you can just add to your cube. And so that was just a fun way to tailor something for the show, because what you don't realize with Cubeify is whatever you're revealing needs to be exactly 9 letters, like unless you're going to use 2 rows or whatever, or 2 cubes. But Today's Show is perfectly 9. And the host's name, Tim Davies, was perfectly 9. So I was like, this is too good not to use.
And so you can customize that prop for the unique appearance.
Yeah. So I'll give them some love, because what they've done is, when you purchase the reason why you purchase Cubeify and not just buy a sheet of stickers, that's them messaging us right now. The reason why you purchase it,
link.
is because they have developed a system, like a specific layout of letters that can be mixed to spell a whole bunch of celebrities' names. So they have routines where you can have some flashcards with different names. They pick one, and then you can spell out from shuffling the one that they're thinking of. So that's why you get the product and not just letters. But I just found that people weren't really, and you can even see it in the trailer, like people aren't really reacting to the spelling of the words as much as they are when it actually solves. And I think it's because it's not personal to them. So adapting it to being their name. So what I'm going to try and do now is, at my shows, find someone's name who on the ticket list that would fit on here, and then I can do it like during the show, for example. People, I think this has been slept on a little bit, but Cubeify, check it out. It is definitely worth having on the side for that right moment.
Especially if you're doing cube stuff and want to do, another cube piece in your act, it's ideal. It's a little something different, and dig it.
And I think what looks really good too is if you, instead of using this type of cube, if you use the borderless ones they're a little bit more bright fluoro colored, they show the letters way better. Because you can see here, like yellow and white show up quite good, but blue is a little dark.
Yeah.
And so the speed cubers will know the ones I'm referencing, but they're borderless and brighter. And imagine if you did it with just white. Like imagine if you just had a white cube that only had letters. Like that would be a bit crazy, because then you'd have to still know a way to know which orientation. Like that would be a bit trickier, but still, now it's not really a cube trick about colors. Yeah. You could really kind of play with it.
Yeah, and just a reminder, we actually spoke about this at length on episode 172 with Paul Fowler and of course Kev G when they first released the product. So if you guys want to know more about it, roll back to episode 172. You'll be able to find out everything you need with regards to that
100%.
So
Scotty P, Joshua Coin to bottle got an awesome reaction. Thank you. Yes, it did. A funny thing about TV is the producers want to see exactly what you're going to do because it's live TV. This is I'll just tell you guys because this was weird. I had to show them the trick with the presenter being there as well. I had to show them the trick off air to then do it re-air, and I had to be like, just remember how you feel right now because you gotta. We gotta I gotta show you this again. Oh, and Doug is just showing us a cube that has numbers on it instead of letters. I'll be damned.
There's an interesting story here. This is my very first Instagram post ever. It's got one like by Eric Jones.
Wow. Whoa, what a flex.
This is 2012. I had the notion of doing the magic square with a Rubik's Cube.
Oh my God.
This was 12 years ago. So a little cutting edge, right? Before people started releasing methods.
Oh my gosh.
Eric Jones knew it was good.
Wow.
Well,
bloody hell. Hey, you should
interest in developing cube work. This challenge at the time I was a good cube solver. This challenge proved to be unwieldy because the numbers spin on the cube, right? So I don't know what solution that your creators have developed, but cheers to them for figuring it out. It's quite challenging to produce desired results after spinning the cube, different orientations. I was also experimenting before the revolution had happened with all the quick solves and fancy algorithms. So I might have had more luck 10 years later.
Hey, never say never. You can.
But thanks, Eric Jones, for the like.
Yeah, hell
That's
yeah.
a funny throwback. We used to be bros. We're still bros, actually. I saw him at Tricks 2 years ago and had some man hugs with Eric.
Let's get him on here. Just to tie a knot on this. So what I was saying was, So I had to show them the trick before we did it to air. So they're seeing the same thing twice. But what was great was for the cube one, I showed him that I could spell out the show and then his name, but I didn't tell him that I was going to solve the cube. I just said, and then I'll solve one color and I'll get you to name the color. So in his head, he's thinking, okay, I'm going to say blue, and then I'm going to reference the blue sky when I do the weather. And I added the kicker of actually solving the cube altogether, just so I could get a genuine
spectator. Watching you do the trick, I was hoping that moment was coming on the inside. So it was satisfying when you did that
Very
because I'd never seen the trick before. Loved the whole thing. Great finish.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
And then, but to Scotty's point about the producing the bottle of champagne. So I had shown him that off air and he freaked out. I wish I'd just not told him that was going to happen and done it first time on air because he freaked out way more the first time. But the second time, when you're seeing it on air, he still reacts genuinely because he still has no idea where the bottle came from. So his reaction was more about, I can't believe you got me with that again, and I still don't know where it came from. So that was what you're seeing on the screen. And the last thing I'll say is the footage you saw of me doing that was from me using my camera to get Christopher Wayne to film me on the news. And what I mean by that is we got the footage of the actual recording of the show, but it was so not great for social media because it's horizontal and it's on live TV, which is not 1080p. It's like 720. And the way they'd given us the footage was from screen recording it off the broadcast, off their own phone and sending it to us. Yeah. So I kind of knew that might happen. So I, with the foresight of that, took my camera and filmed it all vertically so it could be used on Instagram and stuff and would be vertical and in 4K. So I'm so happy I did that because those clips did way better as a vertical from my own camera.
You're shooting vertical, you'll turn the camera then to get that footage?
In
for
this
social-
in this instance, I did, yeah, because I knew it'd be better just to fill the screen with the magician and the presenter instead
Yeah.
of
You knew you wanted to
especially-
make vertical content from this. Yeah,
100%, because we already had the horizontal version, right, from the
Right.
TV.
makes sense. Yeah.
So, and I asked them, do you mind if I film a little behind the scenes? They're like, sure, just don't get in the way of the shot. Great. So I filmed us all vertically, and bloody hell, it just
More
came
pro
out
advice from Norbita. Bring your own
So much
camera to
better.
the news thing and you'll get better footage and different
100%.
perspectives. So now later you might do a long form with the full thing and then put in footage you have. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then last thing, and then I'll stop talking about myself. I promise. And it's not really about me. This one. It's last week we had a speak pipe come in about a gentleman saying he had seen someone do this thing where he would pay for stuff using a playing card and create this sort of moment of magic in the wild where people didn't know you were going to do magic, and he would tap the card and pay for something. And I said, and I only remembered yesterday that I'd said this, but I said, okay, I'm going to go out and do that. And then it just occurred to me, oh crap, I have to actually go out and do that. Like, it's not just a off the cuff thing to film yourself at a checkout and hope that they react and actually do a thing. Like, it's a bit of a...
As you were saying
So-
the words, I was like, oh shit, he just committed to that.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't really
that's...
expect you to follow through. You followed through, huh?
I had to do it for the listeners.
You didn't have to. You could have just glossed it over. We all forgot about it, but I'm
know,
impressed.
Thank you. So that's why I only just arrived here before we went live, because I went out this morning and bought a bunch of things. So I'm going to play the video. What you're seeing is
Cool.
I went and did it 3 times. So you're going to see 3 different times I did it, 3 different, very different reactions,
Go.
going from like noticed a little bit to noticed not at all to actually recognize that something magical was happening. And anyway, so this is what happens when you pay with a playing card. I'm going to play it for you.
Oh, thanks. You take card? See if this one works. Great, thank you. Oh, it worked. Thanks. Here goes nothing. Oh, look, thank you. Great. Yeah, do you take ace card here? No? We'll see if it works. Hopefully. You haven't? Oh, they're pretty handy. It's a bit of magic for the morning. Anyway.
I thought you were going to do a little trick.
Yeah, I can. Little. But that looks much better on that side. Anyway, you have a good day, man. See ya.
You have
And
to
there you
reach
have
it
it,
down,
folks.
Do top changes and leave them with the card.
Yeah. Well, what I was doing was just a little, you know, that color change where you like Tenkai it and then you
Bertram?
Yeah.
you would normally the Bertram change. So I was basically doing that to steal the card off the bottom. So I'd
Oh, so
pay
you
for
didn't
it.
build a gaff. That's all sleight of hand, huh?
That's so just to I don't even have it on me. I was basically copying the credit card by my side, like in a gambler's cop. I'd show them the card first. Do you take ace card? I'd load it as they're answering.
Oh, that's
Then
right.
the-
You said that
then
was
I
the
would-
method.
Then I would pay, and then I would Bertram change it just to do the steal, and I would
Oh,
drop it
man.
on the bench. So I'm really probably going further than is required, but you know, why not?
So you could just. I thought the card was in the card, but no. you could just
Excellent.
leave in
Well,
the card. Let's go.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, thank you, Tim. Tim says you're a legend. I appreciate that. Well, that's good then. Yeah, you could.
Oh,
So
you
the
should-
way I did it, I could have left the card for them, really.
That's a great Magic Magazine art submission. We were talking about magazines earlier. If I was you, I would submit that idea to the genie or something like that. You know, one of the things.
All right.
Maybe this
hell
one.
yeah.
Do you read the Jerks?
Oh,
It's a
yeah,
good Jerks
yeah.
trick.
All right, maybe I will. I'll send
Yeah,
it to
that's
him.
like a Jerks vibe.
Now, Scott brings up a point. If you had them pick the card, it would probably go over better. Now, here's the thing. That is possible, but it was already pretty nerve-wracking going in there knowing, A, I'm filming them.
Yeah.
B, I'm going to do this thing, and I don't want it to be, like, nerdy. And so to just go into a random stranger and be like, hey,
yeah,
before I pay for that thing that you've just rung up,
right,
pick a card. It doesn't feel natural or normal, or like it feels wrong to kind of be like, hey, can you pick a card now? Because they already are like in autopilot. But I would love to build up to that.
If you're at like a dinner with the waitress who you've established a rapport with, then you could say, before I pay the bill, take one.
Yeah. Scotty P said, I thought it was a gaff too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You'll watch it back now and you'll realize.
Did not suspect, let alone detect.
That's what good sleight of hand is. So go out there and try it in the wild. It's kind of fun. Obviously, as you saw, some people were just in autopilot, didn't really notice. And then for the last guy, I was like, all right, I'm just going to bloody make it so obvious. Do you take ace card? Oh, I've never seen that before. Great. We'll see if it works. Anyway, it was fun doing some magic in the wild.
It's a lot of work, man.
Thanks, man. Well, look,
well played.
If you guys have any other challenges, give it to us. Send them in a speak pipe, and then we'll see who of the three of us can do it. And because it's pretty fun. All right, so we will get to this finally. I titled this Halloween Magic Ideas because we have Halloween coming up.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
I really like that. I really like that clip, and I'm going to encourage you to pursue that. It's like a Carbano effect kind of. Did you put it on social?
Not yet. It hasn't gone anywhere yet.
I'll be interested to see how that does.
Okay. I'm definitely open to putting that clip up. Like the last one. That could be fun,
just that general vibe of filming like prank magic from your point of view, fooling people with what seems to be real magic in the real world, but it's not like fourth wall. It's like your view of the event. Okay.
Doug, I think
Let's
you might
get
have
back
just
to the subject matter. I'll try and stay on track.
No. I think you might have just birthed a new genre of magic. I mean,
if you don't, I might steal it, but I got to wrangle up some of them glasses and the money to buy them. So it might be a while.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to see you doing some of that. For sure.
Then I have to go back out in public again. Oh, forget it.
Well, it can be. Yeah, true. Well, I mean, it can be when something's being delivered. Maybe not the card magic, but some other kind of magic.
I'm going to do a series where I try to get my wife to pick a card and see how many ways she can say no.
See, that's
funny. Can you just get out of my face?
See, that's
I have a headache.
I like it. That's yeah. But that stuff's funny too. So, all right. Well, you know what? I'll post it then. I'll post it on for those listening, I'm going to post it on the Instagram, the Magic Guys Instagram. I might collab it with my own page. Let's do more of them. It was kind of fun. All right. So like I was saying, and it is the Ray-Ban Meta glasses that I was using, just so everyone knows. Boom. I've been having a lot of fun with these. I wish they'd sponsor me. We just used them to make a point of view video in our show where at the end, the amazing Nigel recalls the whole room's names. And these are the clear ones that I wear in the show because it looks weird if I use sunglasses, although it looks weird now with a cap on anyway. But we did this cool point of view where he's naming everyone in the audience, but I'm behind him. So I'm like watching, you're seeing him point to each person and say their name. These, I think, are so made for magicians, honestly. It's pretty awesome. Okay. There we go. Now, I call this episode, Halloween Magic Ideas. A lot of people may have done some Halloween events over the weekend, but you're going to have people coming up to trick or treat, all this stuff. So, it's a good time to talk about spooky magic or haunted magic or ideas or stories, So that's where I sort of thought I'd just start us off here. Nick, you're a creative guy. What's your thought on Halloween? Do you get booked for Halloween gigs? Are you doing Holy Moly on Halloween? Have you thought about what spooky tricks you do?
Well, I've done heaps over the years for sure. And I was sort of just thinking about one of the most memorable ones. And I was doing this it was actually a birthday party that was on Halloween, and at a very, very wealthy, crazy venue. And so what happened was they had this kind of like walkway, and I was doing my head drop effect, where my head quite literally falls. So you basically for the effect, you need to kind of wear a trench coat. Your head falls off, you catch it in your lap, and you put it back on. But I was dressed like a zombie, like bleeding from the mouth and stuff. So it was kind of funny to like come out and like freak people out. Then my head falls off, and I put my head back on. Like it was really a really fun way to freak people out. And I think that is probably one of my most proudest works, I would say.
Oh my God. Imagine filming a point of view and then having a secret camera as well to film you when people come to trick or treat and you go to hand them the bucket and your head falls into the bucket or something. Holy crap. If anyone can rig that up between now and Halloween, you're guaranteed to get a viral video. Holy hell. I'm going to have to talk to Nick and see how I can make this. See how I can learn this amazing real magic. And then that's got me excited. Okay. That's crazy.
That's one fun thing to do.
Hell yeah.
I guess another fun thing is like body parts. You know what I mean? Like, I was talking to my good friend.
Whoa.
What happened?
Body parts?
Well, yeah. Well, I was talking to my good friend Buck Bowen. We come up with a few ideas where you reach behind someone's ear and pull out an ear, and we're playing with jokes like that. That could be a fun thing to do, where you reach behind and you remove someone's ear, and using sleight of hand, put it back. That could be a fun thing to do.
That's cool. I did see you pluck the hearing aid out of that girl's ear over the weekend.
Oh yeah,
I did that a lot on your socials.
Yeah,
I've seen you do that in person too. To our friend who very well is at the age that could have hearing aids.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you think of Halloween magic, obviously things like Haunted Key that was mentioned earlier comes to mind. I guess this is the one time you might do Boris the Spider, right? If you're purposely trick-or-treating someone.
We did talk about that it should have been retired, but it does belong come Halloween time.
But there might be that one day a year where it is kind of relevant, right? Maybe, instead of double cross, like the actual Ash version is probably much spookier on Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? We take
what about
Ash,
what's the one? I want to say it's Saw, but I don't think that's the correct thing. Like with the you can put a mint in your mouth and pull it through your neck using the tooth floss.
Here's one Hook, the one with the fish hook. Where they
was that Sean? What's his name? Who released that one? I've seen that go wrong, man. I've seen that go wrong. Oh yeah, I have.
Holy crap.
Yeah, one of my guys who works with me, good friend Jay Christo. It didn't go the way it was supposed to, and I've got there it is. Yeah, but Eric Ross, that's who it is.
Actually, someone bought this today. It's my last one. That's
But I've literally seen because you got to gank that thing as hard as you can. I've just seen this guy's head just snap left as they pull it. And it's a real hook. It's a real danger.
I'm going to share my Facebook for a minute. I was going through some pictures. I did a cool gig at we have City Park, and they had set up a haunted exhibit where I was doing mostly family style shows in a little tent like this.
Oh, right? How good's that?
Yeah, it was it was a month-long contract. Oh, hold on, that's my thing. But I was doing the cups and balls, and as the finale for the cups and balls, I was using small little pumpkins and squash. Get a fall festival feel. This was a great gig. This was a fun one, but
I like that. That's fun.
Yeah.
So this would be perfect.
We're putting out there, guys. Let's just put the question out there. I mean, the reality is this is Halloween ideas. What are your ideas? How can you spookify an ordinarily normal routine? Can you do a chop cup, but instead of producing a tennis ball, you produce a human heart? I don't know. Like how do we spookify existing effects? What would you do? What could you do instead of a coins across? Bugs across? Could you do a handful of cockroaches?
Yeah.
Speaking of cockroaches, one I actually purchased and thought I would do but didn't do is the cockroach appearance. I think Boris, it was an app where a roach appears on your phone. It's like the web with the spider appearing on the hand, but a roach appearing on the back of the hand. I decided that was too much for an audience, certainly in New Orleans, where roaches can be more prevalent than usual.
Yeah, that's risky, but for Halloween, you want that shock factor. Do
you want it around your $800 phone?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Good point.
Didn't that effect just come out of the dismembering your finger, like that illusion, like the sawing in half illusion? But there's a finger one that came out.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what we're talking about?
Yeah, it's effectively what it looks like if memory serves, folks. It's like a tube that you put on your finger, and then you sever the center of it.
And I think you can take it off or move it to the side and stuff.
Yeah, it kind of gives the illusion that you can remove the entire center of it and then put it back together again. It's a pretty convincing illusion for what I've seen.
Stitch. Thank you. That's what we're talking about here.
That could be an interesting one.
Picture.
I think it would be cooler if you could do it to a person. That would look so freaky. Like, ever seen like the arm chop effect?
Yes.
Yeah, I got a friend of mine who does it, but he does it as like a gambling sort of demonstration. Not a gambling demonstration, but kind of like maybe like a Saw movie, The Saw, where it's like you've got to play the game, otherwise you're going to lose a limb. And what he does is he cuts the spectator's hand off, but then what he does, he shoves their hand inside of a like a takeaway cup, but it's got bandages on it, so they just get to leave the stage with their hand hidden in this cup, but it's all bandaged up. And he just goes, whoops, okay, he just puts the cup in their hand and goes, you can leave now. And they leave with a limb missing. So that's a really fun one.
So this is Stitch. This is just one of their promo pictures. So it looks like you can give the illusion of actually pulling your finger off like that. And, that's got a very like Saw-esque kind of vibe to it, to freak
There's
people
another
out.
version of this effect without the tube. Penguin is selling it, and when you remove the finger, bone is exposed.
That's great
the
too.
Finger, you reach for it, pull off, and then there's bone there with blood. That's a Halloween thing. I don't know the name of this, but Penguin just advertised a limited supply. It was a hot item at the last Blackpool.
I want that because it just looks funny.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen that release where they had what looked like a blockhead effect, but it was effectively a signed card up your nose, and you pull instead of pulling like a nail out of your nose, you pull a playing card out of it?
Oof.
Have you guys ever seen that one?
Nope. Maybe I'm better off for that.
And then there's also the I forget the gentleman's name that created it, but the one where you put a playing card over your finger and then you can stab a knife through it.
Oh yeah,
that one's.
I'll tell you what you do for inspiration. Go watch any Amazing Jonathan special. Like this guy was the master of
fork in the eye
effects.
Yeah.
There
was an effect recently that I saw a friend perform in Vegas, and that person has now released it. But where you rub your eye, and as you're rubbing your eye, you show like black, like that your eye it's missing from your socket, and then you open your mouth, and you can see an eyeball looking at you in your mouth, and then you can.
Who had the spoon? Someone had it where you scoop it out with the spoon.
That was Scott Alexander that released that one.
Scott Alexander?
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I like that. Hands away.
But this one looks phenomenal. Like you're literally rubbing your eye, you do this, and then you open your mouth, and your eyeball's in your mouth, and then you wipe again, and then your eyeball's back. It's really clever. Like the whole effect.
Finger Off Extreme. That's the name of the other one. Finger Off Extreme.
I'm really stuck on this head dropping idea to spook people coming to your door.
I mean, it's not this, but whatever.
Yes.
How you doing?
Look, if anyone out there can send us a video of them doing it to trick someone when they come to their door, you can have all our merch, okay? If you send us a video of you doing that, that's awesome.
This is in my new street act. I'm bringing this out to the people. It's angly, but I'll work with it. I can control the angle.
Now that you should write into the jerks. See, that's funny. That's funny. That's
Me
weird.
too, baby. Just created it.
But that is funny. Oh my goodness.
Now my throat hurts. Know how my wife feels. I mean, she doesn't have to deal with this much, but you get the idea.
Ah, jeez. Now, there was a conversation in our Discord, because obviously when we bring up Halloween magic, there's PK Touch comes up, and people were asking, like, what is your... By the way, we have a magic Discord. If you're not in it, you're missing out. It's where
Discord's
we
the
can
shit.
really
there.
get away from the muggles and just chat about whatever the magic things are we need to talk about. And people were bringing up a few versions, like where it's taught. Peter Turner has one. Luke Jamay has one. Obviously, Banachek has one. People are mentioning Midas Touch by Peter Turner. And then there's also the one, I have it, I just forget what it is, where you're doing this, like you're pointing at their shoulder and their arm goes up. And the method is a bit different to your standard Banachek. There's a few out there, but... So obviously PK Touch could be a thing.
There is a
obviously, to
version
spook
where
people.
you take a spectator's pinky and mangle it. You take their pinky and bend it in an undescribable fashion.
Huh.
I've seen magicians do this insane stunt. We talked about doing it with spectators earlier. It's technically possible to mangle someone's finger and restore it.
You know what? I
If someone
think
comes
that
up with the name of that trick, you'll impress me.
I think if
Also-
you added a kind of audible scariness to it, like the Netcracker gimmick, like that could be fun. If you were like doing it and you're hearing this audible crack as you're sort of dismembering someone's hand,
creepy.
you know, a person.
I really have to pee, so I'm going to be back in 2 seconds. All right. You guys keep it
Okay.
TMI, Josh. Man, I need to find that footage of Eduardo mangling a spectator's pinky. It can't be safe.
I've seen effects. Okay, because I remember Tim Ellis, who's done some really, really clever magic. He does a couple of things themed around the Halloween game. He does this like cutting off a spectator's finger, and there's some audible bits and some blood and whatever else, and he puts their finger back together. That's a good one. What's also really cool that he does a linking rings, but with barbed wire, like circular barbed wire, like razor wire. And so, like, he's linking them and unlinking them kind of while his hands are bleeding, I suppose.
Hold on. Let's look at what he does to this woman.
Okay. So this is the effect where he's destroying a woman's finger? Okay.
Yeah, watch what he does. He takes her pinky
Okay.
and then he bends it at this insane angle. Look at that.
Goodness.
Like, and that might not be the super best clip. She's obviously, is that possibly staged? That
I don't know. Is it something that everyone is inherently able to do?
whether or not you can do it, should you? Like, should you grab someone's hand and risk bodily injury? Eduardo, I love you, brother. But oh my, what is
Yeah, I think if anyone does that in any capacity to me, like I'll lose it. You know what I mean? If somebody was trying to do that, and yeah, so it's a pretty interesting angle he's bending it at. But is it just an illusion? Is it kind of like, is it generally not affecting anybody?
I don't know. I don't want to find out.
I don't know. I think customer experience in my world is key, so it just depends. But we're talking about Halloween now, so like I guess we have merit to be able to terrify our folks, and that's kind of important. So I'm trying
I
to
think we draw the line at bodily injury.
Oh, okay, let's do that. Well, I'm trying to think of like what would be a scary-ish card trick. I guess you could do it with tarot cards and freak people
You know
out.
what's a good one? Paul Wilson has a version of Color Monty.
Okay.
The classic Color Monty effect. He tells the classic tale, but does it with tarot cards. And then the final card is the death card, which is like, whoa, you know.
Yeah.
And
See,
it
that
kind of
would be-
makes sense. It's like a
would be-
Gypsy Monty kind of feel, you know.
Yeah.
Better
Yeah.
than that dumb $14 card, or the $14 card's okay. It's those colored diamonds. It's the blue and the red diamonds on
Right,
Color Monty.
right.
Like, the
So, yeah,
worst idea ever. I can't believe that trick ever got popular.
Yeah. I'm trying to
To
think of
weigh in
anything-
on that,
Go on.
to weigh in on that finger twisting, mangling one as well. That's an effect that came out a long time ago, and then it went off the market. And I think it's because Dynamo might have bought that effect from them to take off the site, because Dynamo would do it a lot in his early videos and stuff. But I remember learning it because I remember doing it in the beginning, thinking like, oh, this is how I do real magic. You know, I start to do stuff like this. And it does hurt when you do it. So like not like scrutinizing, but it does hurt when you do it. So for sure, that woman had to be at least be told like, hey, I'm going to do something with your finger. Is it okay? Like you might feel some pressure, but just go with it. So she might be reacting to it, but it definitely cannot and should not be just done on a random spectator. That's for damn sure.
Doug, we see you tinkering. Is this a type of voodoo effect? Because I was just thinking to myself, a voodoo effect would be cool.
Scott mentioned anyone in New Orleans afraid of voodoo themed tricks. So I developed, this is a 2-wall envelope, right? So this is just 2 envelopes back to back. If you put a divider down the middle, now each one has 2 predictions. So you have 4 outs here. I'm missing one of the outs, but the way these voodoo dolls are constructed, here's my theory. Look at this concept. This dot bleeds through. So that could be the right leg or the left leg.
Mm-hmm.
And the same is true. Okay, so this one is anything in the middle. This one is anything in the head. And then the one that's missing is the arm, which is the same as the leg, but it's right arm, left arm, right?
Okay.
So this way you're able to have a effigy on the table, a voodoo doll. The spectator stabs it anywhere. You open your prediction and the voodoo doll, and this is just a mock-up. It could be a little more intense than what I'm showing here. Your voodoo doll is predicting what they've done. So there's a Doug Con exclusive, inspired by a Dan Harlan trick he put in Minotaur years ago. But carry this in your wallet.
This is all good stuff. Idea. Doug, will you have people knock on your door for Halloween?
I will. Yeah, I'll have the lights off probably.
That's how you give the signal if you're open for business or not.
Here's the thing. I did Halloween for 20 years with my children. Had enough of it. Now I'm old and would rather not be bothered for hours on end.
Uh-huh.
I did my part. I gave a lot of candy away to a lot of kids with a lot of joy in my younger years. And now I'm the old guy in the corner whose lights aren't on. There's plenty of houses that are.
But what about for content? You know, you stick an Insta360 by the door.
So I'm going to go in the French Quarter Thursday, actually, on Halloween. It's a lively spot to be on Halloween Day, and we're going to see what's going on down there. Will I do a show? Maybe. Mainly just looking to see some kindred spirits and film a little. Might do a live. So that, and it'll be a busy week. I'll probably come back later that weekend, and it's been a while since I've been down there filming at all. So yeah, maybe we'll get some French Quarter content from
content.
Yeah, you know it.
Nice.
It's the best time to come to New Orleans. If you ever consider visiting the city, Halloween weekend is the best. This last weekend was ruined by the Taylor Swifties who invaded the city. God love them. Thank you for coming. Not my scene. They apparently ruined most of the Halloween festivities. You know, it's normally a little bit debaucherous in New Orleans for Halloween, and it might have been a little bit too pink this past weekend.
Bloody Swiftie.
Dude, she did 3 concerts at the Superdome, 65,000 seats, sold it out every night. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Imagine.
It's like, sell it out once. Okay, sell out the Superdome 3 nights in a row. And she probably could have done it. She could probably still be doing shows there right now. It's unbelievable.
What's her end game? Like, does she want to do a residency in Vegas like Celine Dion, you know?
She's saving up for a zigzag and going to break out into the magic market.
Yeah. Well, you know, 50 Cent does that in his concert because we've talked about this, but Marcus Eddy is his theater show.
Of course we've talked about this. We had we had
Marcus Eddy come on and talk about it. But yeah, because I went and saw the concert and it was a great concert, but the magic it was like he appeared from a smoke chamber and then like he did a runaround effect where he disappeared from the stage and appeared over here. Lots of quick changes. Puff of smoke covered him and then he came out in all white to sing his Pimpin' song, P-I-M-P. It's That's the next wave. So now, I mean, Taylor Swift has done an effect where she dove under the stage, and then the stage was digital, and she's swimming, and then her outfit's changed when she gets to the other end.
I saw an image of a UFO beaming light down onto her, so there might be a moment where a UFO flies out, and that seems kind of magical in its own way.
Like, imagine if Taylor Swift paid Copperfield millions of dollars to actually create a Copperfield-esque level magic for a concert. That would be insane.
She's got the budget.
Look, we could do it. It's just one of us has to learn how to sing impeccably and get a sex change, perhaps, that will bump.
Okay, you talked me into it. I'll be the front man.
All right. Excellent. The front man, you say? Well, we'll see about that.
I've just been looking to get that sex change for a while. If I can get that done, that'd be great. One less thing I got to worry about.
And it's tax deductible if it's for the purpose of performing on stage, like for work, is what I'm getting at.
Does that include the top?
Oh, of course, yeah, of course. Because then you'll have a built-in top-it for when you're performing.
Duh.
Right? It'll hold. Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah. These are great final words. All right, we're going to go to the final word. I reckon, Nick, you got this week? I reckon we'll give Nick the final word.
Yeah, you bet.
Here we go. Thank you for joining us. See ya.
Well, friends, thanks again for joining us at this wonderful episode of The Magic Guys. Please go forth, spread your magic. If you are doing Halloween magic, do it with the best of intentions. Do it to entertain and make people smile and avoid dismembering or giving anyone physical harm and hurting them. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for listening. It's time for us to disappear now. But we'll see you again on the next episode of The Magic Guys.